You're locked in to the hottest station on the planet.
Resistance is futile. The revolution has begun.
You're listening to Rebelpreneur Radio, helping you break the rules and build the business you need for the life you want. And now, broadcasting his pirate signal
from somewhere beyond the status quo,
here's your host, best-selling author, marketing and media strategist, Ralph Brogden.
Hello and welcome to Rebelpreneur Radio. It's the show that helps you build the business you need so you can live the life you want. I'm Ralph Brogden. I'm really partial to women in business, maybe because I'm married to a woman and because I have 2 daughters. And so I really want women to succeed in business, but women have a lot of challenges that men don't face. We all have obstacles and challenges and things that we have to overcome, but it seems like women, especially have more obstacles, more challenges. And so I'm really partial to anyone who can help women to really overcome those things and really stand up and shine and let their voice be heard. And today's guest is someone who really knows what it means to be loud in today's society. She stands for loud women everywhere, and she's going to explain what she means by a loud woman. But I'm speaking with Kelly Cochran. She's the author of the #1 best-selling book, Loud, Silence Your Critics and Turn Up the Volume on Your Life. Her hilarious memoir is a powerful must-read for anyone looking to live a life of purpose. She is an unapologetic writer, speaker, and entrepreneur. Kelly passionately encourages women to listen to their instincts and speak their truth at the highest volume. Kelly, welcome to Rebelpreneur Radio.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Excited to have you. You are a self-described proud corporate America dropout. Tell us about your experiences in corporate America and why are you a corporate America dropout?
Well, I loved your intro, how you said that women face different challenges than men in corporate. And that is so true and could not be more true than in my case. I feel like I have a permanent goose egg on my head from slamming my head against the corporate glass ceiling for the past about 15 years. So, I did the normal thing that all us women in America are taught we should do is we get good grades in high school to go to a good college, to get a good job and climb the corporate ladder. But, after jumping from job to job, I just remember in my 20s, I was driving home from a job in marketing and thinking there has to be more to life than just going to work and getting a really crappy paycheck and filling somebody else's coffers. And so I just had a lot of really crappy, albeit not uncommon experiences in corporate America with just blatant sexism. I had people hire me because they wanted to kind of have me in their sphere as an attractive female instead of hiring me for my intelligence. I was fired because I stood up to male bosses or questioned male superiors. And I just felt like when I finally got let go from this last job a couple of years ago, I was like, I cannot be the only loud, direct, confident woman that's coming up against these challenges in corporate America. There has to be more of us out there. And so I'm going to figure out how to do this thing, this business thing and entrepreneur thing on my own, because I am so tired of somebody else telling me how far and fast I can rise in my own career. So that's kind of why I quit corporate America, and I'm proud of it.
Good for you. Tell us about this book and the title of it, Loud, Silence Your Critics and Turn Up the Volume on Your Life.
Well, again, I started writing loud because I was thinking if I can help even one other woman with my story, then it's worth it. And it really became this cathartic thing where I was kind of dripping all my pain and angst from being a woman in corporate America and just in a society that tells us how we should behave, how we should sit still, look pretty, be quiet, be that type of woman. And I wasn't that type of woman. And so my book is really part funny memoir where I tell pretty embarrassing stories from my childhood and through up to adulthood, and also turned into kind of a self-esteem, self-help book, because I just felt that, okay, if I've figured out how to turn my loudness and my boldness into my biggest strength, then maybe my book can help other women who are feeling the same way, feeling disenfranchised. Maybe my book can help them find their loudest inner voice as well.
I love that. And you are absolutely correct, Kelly, that there are a lot of people out there, a lot of women out there who are not fulfilling their potential because of the situation that they find themselves in. And so you really empower women in a few different ways. But your experience is in more than 15 years of digital marketing. So you help to empower women through marketing, motivation, and mindset. Tell us a little bit more about what you do now and who you help. Who are your ideal prospects and clients?
So I really help any woman who feels stuck. It could be in life, in a job, in a relationship where they just feel like they're living this mediocre existence and they know there has to be something more out there. And they just don't really know how to tap into that inner genius to make their life better. And so I bring them through my Loud framework, where we really look at a strengths-based approach, where we look at your past and present, and then we design your future. So we first learn what's been holding you back in the past, or what's maybe holding you back to reach your highest potential right now. For a lot of women, I find that it's these voices in our heads that tell us, again, what we should and shouldn't be doing, what we should and shouldn't have, the relationship we should or shouldn't be in. Instead of listening to our own gut, we tend to listen to voices outside of us. And I feel like that's a very female trait. And then I help women open up to new opportunities that maybe they've been blind to before. We utilize their current strengths. So we look at past experiences where they've been really successful and look at new opportunities to how they could use their strengths and their passions to then envision and design their dream future. So it's this Loud framework, again, that's just totally strength-based, looks at past, present, and future. So it's a really holistic approach to just unlock that unlimited potential.
I love that. I think that would be very powerful, especially if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like you can't make any progress, you can't move forward, especially if you feel like that there are forces in the world bigger than you and other voices out there telling you who you are or who you should be. I think this would be really valuable to unlock that inner true self of who someone is so that they can really rise up. What is the biggest problem that hinders women from being able to turn up the volume in their own life and trust their inner voice? What would you say based on your experience working with women?
So it's interesting. I've really been around so many entrepreneurs lately these past 2 years. And I think the difference between men and women is that men lead with their ego and women stop ourselves because of our fear. And so what I really want to empower women to do is lead more with your ego, dream bigger, think, okay, I want to be on stage. I want to be the female Tony Robbins. How can I get there? Instead of us holding back ourselves back and saying, oh no, that's not for me. I don't deserve that. I'm a mom. I couldn't take that time away from my kids, or I could never make more than my husband. We get in this cycle of all of these fears and obstacles that immediately come up, where I think men lead more with the end game in mind. They're more action takers, where women are way more risk averse. And so I've really found that what I've gotten really good at in the past couple years is just taking action, is leaping and just finding my wings on the way down. And so that's really what I want to empower women to do.
I love that analogy. It's like, we can sit up in our nest and wait until our wings are fully developed before we give them a try. Or, as you say, Kelly, we can just jump out of the nest and grow the wings on the way down.
I mean, honestly, if I had not given myself a hard deadline to get my book done, I would have been editing and redoing and proofreading and just spinning in this it's like just constantly be in this spin cycle of a washing machine, and you never actually put out a product because it's just that fear of putting yourself into the world, whether it's, applying for a new job or being a public speaker or creating something like art or a book to put out in the world. It is so scary to put a piece of your heart into the world and a piece of your genius into the world. But what's scarier is it's scarier to be on your deathbed and know that you lived a life at 50%, or to know that you just leapt into everything with 100% faith that you were going to figure it out. And I would rather be in that latter group.
Yeah, me too. And these fears are common to both men and to women. So it's not as if men have all the ego and none of the fear, all of the positive traits and none of the negative. We all struggle with who we are, with putting ourselves out there, with fear of failure, fear of success, fear of what other people are going to think. The differences in gender and in sex are that we have to adapt and overcome these obstacles differently. So the way we approach the obstacle, the way we approach the problem and work through it is going to be different if you're a man versus a woman. But what would you say to someone, what would you say to a woman right now who is struggling with these very fears, who feels limited, who's not happy with their situation, and they want to begin to make some immediate changes? What do you recommend?
I would say the first thing is to really look at what lights you up. If you're always talking about certain things, maybe it's being around kids, or for me, it's being around shelter dogs. I absolutely love animals. And so that just like lights me up. And so it's what is lighting you up, and how can you get more of that into your life? And maybe how can you spin that into a business or a side hustle if you're stuck in a 9-to-5 or in a job you don't like? There's that saying that is, if you're doing work you love, you're not working a day in your life. Okay, that's kind of trite, but it's true. And so I just think that there needs to be more questioning of, why can job security only be when someone else is giving you a paycheck, and how can you create that life you love, maybe in a way that you've never thought of before? You really have to think outside the box. And I think it also takes getting someone like a coach, hiring someone who has been there, who's walked the walk and isn't just talking the talk. It's like entrepreneurs who have made it. We've walked through fire time and time again. And so you need to be talking to people who are in the place you want to be. You can't just be idolizing, for me in my industry, it's people like Marie Forleo, Amy Porterfield, Pat Flynn, and all these people are these great digital marketers and amazing entrepreneurs. Well, I have put myself in a position where now I'm running in their circles because I need to be around those people, and I need actual connection to those people. I can't just watch their YouTube videos anymore. So I feel like, if you want to be a certain thing, you need to surround yourself with those people. So figure out how to do that as well.
Very important. And I love your take on that, because we do tend to listen too much to what other people are telling us. And what am I trying to say? That it's more important that we listen to the right people. Don't listen to unsuccessful people. Don't listen to the critics. Don't listen to the naysayers. That's where you need to shut down and silence your critics, because getting that sort of input and feedback is not helpful. But like Kelly is talking about, you've got to learn how to listen and open up and receive from the right people. And the right people are the people who have already walked the path that you're on, and they can guide you. They can support you in your journey from where you are to where you want to be. But you just can't get there by hanging out and listening to people who have never done what you're aspiring to do.
Well, it's like if you were going to go climb Everest, you wouldn't ask someone who has never been above sea level to help you climb Everest. You hire a guide who has done it hundreds of times successfully and safely. So you want to surround yourself with people who can reach back for you and pull you up the mountain, and not people who are holding you back from even leaving sea level.
Yeah.
And so I think that's hard too, is when you're venturing out on your own, especially if it's something that your friend and family group don't really understand. Their job is to keep you safe. So they don't want to see you fail. And so they're going to give you advice through that lens, because it's scary going out on your own. It's scary doing these things where you're putting yourself out there, where you don't have a steady paycheck, where you don't have someone else providing you health insurance and things like that. And so their job is to keep you safe and to warn you against the dangers. Their job isn't to say, well, what if this could lead you to the most success and the most fulfillment you could ever have? That's where you need that group of people who have already been there and can say, oh my gosh, it is so much brighter and better on top of the mountain. You have to get up here. Here, I'll show you the best route.
I love that. And that is really a great way to reframe family and friends who don't understand where you're at, who don't understand where you're going. It's not really so much that they are trying to undermine you. They're really trying to look out for you, and the only way that they know how to do it is to try and keep you safe. Don't take the risk, but that's really the opposite of the entrepreneurial spirit, isn't it?
Right, exactly.
How would working with someone like you really help women get to where they want to be faster and with a lot less stress and anxiety?
So I think working with someone like me, I am really good at helping you walk the walk. So I can see where you want to go and give you kind of the baby steps to get there. I feel like so many of us have just these gigantic dreams, and we can't even fathom how we'll get from point A to point Z. And I think when you work with a coach like myself, we're really good at breaking down the process into digestible bite-sized chunks that make it really easy to take small actions. So by the end of like an 8 or 12-week program, oh my gosh, you've reached the finish line of your goal, but you didn't even really see it coming because the actions were so easy and palatable and just daily things that you were doing. Where it's like if you do it on your own, you'll never start because all you see is this massive finish line, 26.2 miles away, and there's no way you're even going to take the first step. I think that working with a coach, will help you take those little tiny steps until all of a sudden you're running on your own.
Yes. And then once you begin taking steps in the right direction and you've got the motivation and the support of someone like yourself, you start to get some momentum and then confidence that, I really can do this if I just keep taking one step at a time and I keep aiming towards the goal that I started out with. Eventually, I'm going to get there if I just keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Exactly. It's those first couple steps that are the hardest.
Awesome. So, Kelly, what are you working on right now that's got you really excited that you'd like to share with our listeners?
Well, so I just launched my first book, as you were mentioning, Loud, and it is available on Amazon in Kindle and paperback. And I am about to start recording the audiobook next week, actually. So I'm very excited for that to come out before the holidays.
Yes.
And then I will also be speaking at the Best Year Ever live event here in San Diego the weekend of December 13th through 15th. And that is actually the same conference where I really kickstarted my entrepreneurial journey and where my idea of becoming an author was born 2 short years ago. So I am super excited to pay back that audience by delivering my message from stage. So
Awesome.
I'm stoked about that.
Awesome. Very exciting. And so the name of the book again is Loud, Silence Your Critics and Turn Up the Volume on Your Life. And you can go grab that on Amazon. It's a best-selling book. You can also check out Kelly at loudblonde.com and even download a free preview of your book there, right?
Yep. First 3 chapters of my book are available at my website, just loudblonde.com/book. And you can go check it out for free.
Awesome. Well, this has been really encouraging. I hope it helps my wife, my daughters, all of my female friends, and even my male friends as well, and all of our male and female listeners, that regardless of who you are and what obstacles you have to overcome, someone has done it before, and if they can do it, you can do it as well. So Kelly, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. Any final words of wisdom that you'd like to leave us with?
Just take that first baby step. You don't have to run a marathon out of the gate. Just lace up your shoes and get outside.
Awesome. Well, that's it. And you take that first step, and everything starts from that first step. And so just keep it simple and get it done. So this is wonderful. Kelly Cochran is the author of the #1 best-selling book, Loud, Silence Your Critics and Turn Up the Volume on Your Life. Her hilarious memoir is a powerful must-read for anyone looking to live a life of purpose. Kelly is an unapologetic writer, speaker, and entrepreneur, and she passionately encourages women to listen to their instincts and speak their truth at the highest volume. Find out more at loudblonde.com, and we'll have that link on the Rebelpreneur website as well. Kelly, thanks so much for your time today. I really appreciate your sharing wisdom for us, for women everywhere, and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You've been listening to Rebelpreneur Radio with Ralph Brogden. Download the show notes and much more at rebelpreneur.com.